Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about manga and I'm really excited because I absolutely love this manga so far. And my nephew's actually the one who gave me the recommendation for it because I was really scared to pick up manga because you read it from right to left instead of left to right? Something like that. Like you read it backwards basically and you follow the panels instead of like just words, right? I was just really nervous. I was like, okay, what if I don't read it correctly? What if I don't understand it? What if I don't like it because I'm not reading it the right way? So he's such a sweet kid. I absolutely love this kid. He sat with me and like helped me practice how to read it. And then he recommended some based on some of my favorite animes. And he already kind of knows what my favorite animes are. And some of them we kind of like together, others I like. And he's like, yeah, no, Angie, that's not right. Today we're going to talk about The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. This one is by Saka Mikami. So far there are 6 volumes. I think the 7th comes out in June. I have it in my calendar actually because the day it comes out, I will be making time to go and pick up a copy. So let's talk about this. Let's please talk about this. It is such a good like beginner manga in my opinion. As somebody who has never read manga before, and this is the first one I picked up, it didn't take me very long to find a rhythm to reading differently from how I'm used to reading, of course. And I just really enjoyed it, and I felt like it was very straightforward, but there's still depth to the story. I just think this is a great place to start if you want to start in manga and you are kind of intimidated by it or don't know where to start. I think this is a great place to start. It is a romance manga, and I know that there's like different types of manga and anime within the genre, or the genres are different. I will do research. I will educate myself on that, but I can tell you it's a romance. It's a romance and it's really, really cute. And yes, the characters are young. They're in high school, but like, it's just amazing. I love it with all of my heart. I think there's also an anime coming out. I don't remember when though. I looked it up right before starting this and then of course I forgot. So I don't know if it's in the summer or maybe the fall, but I do believe that there's going to be a Fragrant Flower anime as well. In case you're new here, but if you're not new, then you know this about me. I'm a character reader. I love characters. I love character development. I like character-driven stories. You can get me with a plot if it's a good plot and the characters aren't cutting it for me, but some of my favorite stories, it's the characters that really won me over, that got me. And so with The Fragrant Flower, I am finding that there's so much going on with the characters and the relationships between the characters, and I just am absolutely loving it. Despite the characters being young, because they are in high school, so they do read young. They read young. I think if you're accustomed to watching anime as well, you would kind of pick up on that. Like, the younger characters do read young. And things are like kind of exaggerated and like over the top. In The Fragrant Flower, you follow Rentaro, who is this young man who goes to an all-boys school, Chidori, I think if I say it correctly. And this school kind of takes in like little troublemakers, let's say that. So there's definitely a bias or a prejudice against the kids that go to Chidori. And then literally like Chidori's here and then right across the sidewalk is Kyoko. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I'll put it on the screen. But that is an all-girls school and primarily made up of girls that come from affluent and powerful families. So I'm sure you can you can see where this is going. You get a little bit of like Romeo and Juliet going on, which let me tell you something. I had to read Romeo and Juliet 2 times in school for some reason. I don't know why they did that to me. I really, really don't like Romeo and Juliet. That is just my opinion. You have these 2 kids who are out here, I don't know, they're just doing wild stuff and then they just kill each other. Or they kill themselves. Yeah, they like off themselves because they think that the other's off and then the other's not off and then they off themselves and I'm like, what? Where are your parents? Where are your friends? For the love of God, somebody, please. Like, I don't know. I think it's just because they made me read it twice, but I really, really did not like Romeo and Juliet. So I don't tend to love Romeo and Juliet retellings or stories inspired by Romeo and Juliet. Just not my cup of tea. I'm a coffee drinker, and now I drink matcha, which I guess is tea. I retract that statement. Anyways, point is, I was a little nervous. Like, my nephew did tell me that it's kind of like, Romeo to Juliet type story. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But then I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so sweet and it's so heartwarming and just wholesome and innocent. But at the same time, like, there's a story, there's depth, there's characters, the dynamics. Oh my God, y'all. I'm so sorry that I just got all excited like that in your face, but I absolutely love the Fragrant Flower, okay? I absolutely love it. So, Rintaro, sorry, I'm back on track. I got excited. Rintaro goes to this all-boy school, and he definitely has like the aura of a bad boy because he's got the piercings and he's got the spiky hair, and his hair is like I think he dyed it blonde and it used to be black, and so he definitely sticks out, and he's really, really fucking tall compared to everybody else in the group. So, you know, he sticks out, and he's very like to himself, kind of withdrawn, not necessarily in like a rude or unkind way or anything like that. He's just a little apathetic, honestly. And he has his friend group, which I will tell you guys later on who my favorite character is, because it's actually not one of the main characters. Surprise. But we do watch Rintaro really come out of his shell during, and it's only 6 volumes, and I think they're all less than 200 pages. But I am watching him come out of his shell and really just kind of flourish, and it's just such a beautiful transformation to be seeing, because I get to see it in the illustrations on top of reading it too, and it's just really heartwarming, and that is the character depth right there. I am watching this young man go from, you know, lone wolf really to himself, keeps everybody at a distance because he doesn't want to get hurt, and he's turning into somebody who is very much so a sweetheart in hiding. He's such a cinnamon roll, and I absolutely love it. And I love it because it is a very organic transformation. It doesn't feel like we're just pushing him in one direction to keep the story going. It feels like it's very slow, and there's quite a lot of things that occur to lead into this transformation and to continue the transformation. And I don't want to give spoilers in this, so I'm going to try really, really hard not to. But if when editing this video, if I go back and I realize that I did spoil something, I will make sure to put some type of disclaimer somewhere. But I'm going to try not to spoil it because I want people to read it. I want people to read it, and I can't wait to watch it. I'm so excited to watch it. I would be so surprised if it wasn't one of the more popular animes coming out. I really would. I think one of my favorite aspects of the Fragrant Flower when it comes to characters, specifically the male characters, it's the fact that we're really highlighting healthy relationships, healthy friendships. There's not this, and this is just my opinion based on the animes I've seen, even the books I've read, you know, and what I see around me, like in reality too. I feel like there definitely is a little bit of a push for young men and boys to kind of take on certain masculine qualities that sometimes can be more harmful than they are anything else, in my opinion. You know, okay, you don't want to show too much feeling. You don't want to be too sensitive. You know, you don't want to be too emotional, excuse me. And I think something that I'm seeing through having nephews who are much younger, it's not always like an overt push to have boys act or speak or whatever in a certain way. Sometimes it is a little bit more subtle. It's a little more subconscious, and it's just based on, you know, the world that we as older people have kind of just been existing in, and we think that certain things are normal when, you know, maybe they are normal. They are regular. They do occur every single day. You'll see it in most people, let's say, but it's not necessarily the healthiest, in my opinion. And that's all I will say on that piece, and that is just my opinion. Do not come for me, please and thank you. With Rintaro and his group of friends, I'm finding that there is quite a bit of nurturing that goes on in the friend group. And in one of the volumes, I think it's the second one, I believe, his friends overhear a conversation that he has with someone else, and it's just their reaction to it that it actually made me feel warm and fuzzy. I was actually so touched by their reaction to hearing Rintaro maybe struggle a little bit with something. And it's not something that you often see in young men because, again, we're pushing them to behave in a very detached manner, very disassociated from their own emotions and how they feel and how they want to be treated. And I really genuinely appreciate that in this manga. And it's something, again, that I don't even really see that often in my books when I'm reading. So to be getting it in a manga, I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, my standards for what is a good book and what is a good story, what are good characters, she's going up. She's going up. I don't know if I might cut that out. I don't know. I got a little too comfortable there with you guys. Sorry about that. Anyways, and then of course, because you have Rintaro, who is Romeo, you then have to have Juliet, which is Koroku. I don't know how to say her name correctly, so I'm gonna call her K from here on out. K is the FMC, let's say, right? She goes to an all-girls school, and like I said, that school houses primarily girls of powerful and affluent families. K herself, if I'm not mistaken, is a scholarship student. So she has a lot of pressure to meet higher expectations than her fellow classmates, in my opinion, but it's something that you will see play into the story and the character dynamics throughout the 6 volumes we have so far. She's so bubbly. She's so optimistic. She wants to involve everybody, include everybody in everything. She just wants to foster relationships, positive relationships with her classmates, with her friends, and with Rintaro. And she definitely falls first. She falls first in kind of like a cheesy, cringy way, in my opinion, which you don't actually know how she falls first until the 6th volume, the most recent one. But it was kind of cheesy. I was like, really? Are you so serious? It'll give you a toothache. I promise you, if you pick this up and you like romance type things, anything, it's gonna give you a toothache, but like in the best way possible, in my opinion. So she, like I said, very bubbly, optimistic, friendly, all that, blah, blah, blah. She's a huge, very important catalyst in Rintaro's transformation. She's not the only one, but she's very, very integral to those changes that we see in Rintaro. And she also is a very big catalyst, very important one for her best friend Subaru, who is a girl that goes to the same school as her, and kind of like Rintaro, like very detached, keeps everybody at a distance. She has a soft spot, of course, for Kay, because that's her best friend, but she's very quick to cut people down in an effort to protect herself and to protect Kay. She's very, very protective of her friend, which I can totally appreciate, that ride or die sentimentality. It sometimes gets in the way, but it's absolutely wonderful to watch her. There's so much character development. Subaru is a side character while she's still integral to the like friend group. So the boys and the girls coming together and becoming friends. She's very, very important to the group. She's kind of almost a main character, but she is still technically a side character. I just want to discuss the numerous levels of character development that occur in this manga in 6 volumes. 6 volumes, okay? We're talking about such a short amount of time, and we're watching these characters come out of their shells and blossom, and it's just so heartwarming. It's so sweet. It just is so wholesome, and it's something that you don't often get. You don't often get so much development in such a short amount of time with a story that's being told, right? Honestly, I'm definitely going to be a graphic novel manga reader from now on, because there's a lot of emotions that you can get across with just words, but I think that once you have those illustrations, it just takes it to another level, and I don't know if I could ever go back. If I'm being so for real with you, I don't know if I could ever go back to just reading words on a page. Sorry, not sorry. But that's also why I love anime so much, is because I feel like anime oftentimes will tell stories that I've maybe seen similarly in books, but I'm now getting the visual component of it, and it like takes it the extra mile. But that's just my opinion. You have Rintaro and Kay. I don't know why I tried to say her name again. You have Rintaro and Kay. They meet. They start to develop a relationship, a friendship. And then, obviously there are emotions, feelings, and affections associated. And the moments of insecurity that Rintaro has with Kay, when he like second guesses himself and wonders if maybe he like overstepped or maybe wasn't like strong enough in his convictions. Oh my god, I have such a soft spot for these characters. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to continue to read manga, and I'm going to continue to read romance manga. I'm also reading Skip and Loafer. I honestly, and obviously I'm speaking way too soon because I haven't read enough of anything else, but The Fragrant Flower is probably going to be my favorite romance manga, mostly because it's my first one, so I have that sentimental attachment to it, but also just so many characters and so much development. There's another character, my favorite, and his name is Ayato Yorodia? Ayato Yorida? we're just going to leave it there because apparently I can't say any of their names, even though I have no problem with it when I'm reading. Anyway, so Ayato is one of Rintaro's friends from the boys' school. And first of all, I love this kid's style. I love his style. He is so on point with how he carries himself. I absolutely love it. I eat it up. But he also is one of my favorite characters because he comes off as being very like put together. He's quite intelligent, well-spoken. He cares about his friends. I feel like, has no problem admitting his emotions and speaking and acting on those emotions. But do not think that you are going to threaten his friends and walk away from that in one piece. There was a scene, some panels, and his friends were getting bullied, and I had to reread it. I said, "Excuse me, Ayato, where did this energy come from?" He just like kind of turned into like a G, like, what you say about my friend? I was like, oh my. That is when I decided that Ayato was my favorite character. That's when I decided, because I was like, yeah, I like your energy and I like the way you carry yourself. But throughout the manga, the 6 volumes that I have read so far, it's just kind of the same feeling I have about all the characters. I love Rintaro's mom and dad. His dad is kind of a mystery in the beginning, and then you get to meet him. And he's just like Rintaro. It's one of those guys who, I think if they were real, you would look at them and be a little intimidated by their appearance and by how, like, you know, just how much space they take up. And then you get to talk to them and you realize, like, oh, this dude is a teddy bear. Like, can I get a hug, please? Like, that's literally that's how I perceive them through the manga, at least. And his mom is a joy. She's quite funny, but she also has very much so that maternal side of her where she's worried about her son. She's picking up on his mood swings, things that even I, as the reader, who have like an overall view, kind of maybe missed. And then his mom points it out, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, poor Rintaro is a little bit stressed out right now. It is overall such a cavity-inducing manga. I love the story so much. I love the characters. I think if you're a character over plot type of reader or watcher, depending on how you consume whatever, I think that you'll really enjoy a story like The Fragrant Flower. Not necessarily because of the romance, but more so because you have these characters who all start in one place, and by the 6th volume, I cannot reiterate enough how short of an amount of time has gone by in the page count, right? And you're watching these characters really truly mature and develop and just bloom into something else, and I absolutely love it. I don't want anybody to tell me anything negative about this manga, because let me tell you something. We write at dawn. And I will be writing at dawn for The Fragrant Flower. I don't fight, by the way. Like a cherry on top, let's say. And that would be the romance. As somebody who likes tension and yearning, I like romances to be a little bit drawn out. I like to see what goes into a couple becoming a couple, right? I am absolutely loving that aspect of The Fragrant Flower. I feel like there is, it's always there. Of course, that there are feelings between certain characters, and that certain characters like others more than, you know what I mean? Like, it's there, you're aware of it. However, it's not the focus. The focus is definitely these kids and their relationship building and how they come together and develop great communication skills, and they practice empathy and sympathy. It is just all about the characters. And I know that's just my opinion. I'm sorry. It's just my opinion, but I definitely feel like the characters are so strong in The Fragrant Flower. And I really, again, cannot wait to pick up the 7th volume. And I'm even more excited for the anime, because I feel like once we get the animation aspect and we get to see those emotions kind of in real time, obviously not, but you know what I mean. I think that that's going to add another layer of, my God, I'm eating this up. So please, I beg of you, if you have read The Fragrant Flower, please drop a comment. Let me know. Let's kiki. Let's talk about it. Let me know what your favorite parts were, what your least favorite parts were. I'm always curious to know what people are thinking and feeling about whatever we're consuming, whether it's anime, books, graphic novels, whatever. I just am nosy and I want to know. But also, if you haven't read it, I really hope that this inspires you to pick up the 1st volume, because if it's going to hook you, it's going to hook you in the 1st volume. And let me tell you something. I was hooked in like the first 2 pages. I was like, yep, my teeth hurt. I want to finish this. So that is my really ranty ass video about The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity and how much I absolutely adore it. And it's so sweet and cute. And I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm so done. As always, thank you for watching the video and happy reading.